Good morning. We're working on Christian life coaching. We want to just take a look at coaching and other helping skills. So the coaching is part of helping, right? Because somebody coaches people who need somebody's help, and coaching must be one of the one of many other helping skills. And coaching is kind of popular right now. It's been, I think, 10 years. When I first heard about the coaching, I think it's been 10 years or 15 years something. Well, coaching is kind of leading and helping skills for in sports area for a long time, but coaching is a way of helping others not only in sports but in life coaching and mostly life coaching. So it's kind of helping people how to manage their lives, how to manage their relationships. So there is relationship coachings too, and how to plan their future. Those are all coachings, and it is included. It has the life coaching is including kind of not deep, like special or professional counseling, but it can be part of counseling. So coaching is broader concept than counseling or something. Okay. So coaching is helping people's mind and emotions, relationships, and so that's why it is touching the psychological counseling stuff also. But we don't say coaching is for counseling or coaching is for psychotherapy or something, but it is including those things. But today we want to just take a look coachings, and we can compare other helping skills too. With the helping skills, other than coaching, there is a transfer of information or learning from the helper to the person being helped. We may call it advice, yes, and sharing the wisdom or borrowing the wisdom and experience, teaching, and so on. Yet with coaching, the expertise for the coach is in their coaching skills, not in transferring information or knowledge. Okay. So coaching is not just okay, I know this, now you know. I teach you and now you know. It's just teaching or giving some information, but it's more like it's more than just giving some knowledge. It's more about the advice. If you got stuck, this and that, but you got stuck there. And you need to know and learn how to break through those walls and barriers. Well, actually, even Kai knows when he's playing golf. He knows almost everything. He knows how to hit the ball straight, how to make a draw shot and fade shot, and like a stingray shot, punch shot. He knows all kinds of shots actually. But sometimes he got stuck and he cannot make better score sometimes. It's not because of a big slump. but because of something wrong, but he doesn't know what's going on. Then his golf coaches can see and watch him, and they can find the differences. Okay, and then they can just give Tiger Woods some advice and what's going on and information and taking pictures and videos or something, and then they can analyze what's going on and how to break through the barriers. Okay, so it's not only about the knowledge. Well, some people don't know, and so they need knowledge. Okay, but it doesn't guarantee that you will be great when you have all kinds of knowledge. Yeah. Yeah. There are some, well, stupid people who went grade school. They know everything, but they don't know how to break through, and so their performance is not that good compared to other people who went, lower level college or universities. So it doesn't guarantee that you will be successful if you finish if you got the bachelor's degree from a grade or from grade schools. Because even though you have all kinds of tools, you know how to use it, but sometimes you got stuck, so you cannot fix that car or airplane or whatever. Then you want to have your supervisor or your coach, because they will tell you what's going on. They're gonna tell you what you are supposed to do for the better performance and for fixing those defects. Okay. So therefore, the difference between coaching and many other helping skills is that the coach helps by asking questions instead of helping through telling or sharpening or sharing information. Okay. So, well, coaches can show something, depends on the situations. I mean, does not mean coaches always tell and ask questions. What is that? Because of it, what are you going to do? It's a problem. No. Coaching is not only talking. Sometimes they show something, and they just they just show the example, right? How to swing the baseball bat. Okay, they cannot adjust the angle. They cannot adjust the turning the body. So they can show something, but and I don't think other skills are only showing or helping directly, jumping on the working, and they don't talk, they don't ask, they do. But the coaching is more about helping people to think themselves, to find the solutions by themselves, to see what they didn't see or couldn't see. Okay? It's not only talking. It's hard to say that. Alright? But coaching's the main skills of coachings they ask questions. What's going on? How can I help you? What's the best way for that? Do you understand what you have done? Do you know what's going on? What's going to be the best solutions? How you can apply that? Okay, something like that. To be sure, at times the coach will speak or tell, summarize what is heard, and also ask questions. That is kind of, counseling skills too. When you see a counselor and counselor gonna just, they usually want to hear, listen to you first. So they want to see what's going on and they want to understand how they can help you. The counselors, the psychiatrists, psychologists, they are about the same. They want to listen to you first. Okay? But they want to just, they're not just listening or hearing, but they want to do, active listening. It's kind of a basic skill, one of the best, basic skills of counseling. So active listening is, like this. You just explain what's going on, and the counselor, active listening is that, you just talk about this, right? And that part is a problem for you because of your situation, something. It is kind of summarizing. So making clear the story they heard from the clients and make it simple and summarizing and use the vivid words so the client can see and understand what they already said to the client, the counselors. Okay? By doing so, the clients can talk first and then they can see what they talked. Right? So that's active listening. Such as teachers and counselors, yes. Yet as we shall see, there is a distinct difference between the coach and other kinds of helpers. Yes, there are some differences. That's why we call some people are coaches, some people are counselors, some people are teachers, some people are psychiatrists. Okay? So we're gonna just take a look. In general, there is a shift when it comes to coaching. Okay? So from telling or advising to asking questions. From telling or advising to asking questions. So the coaching is more about asking questions, not, I have some problem. You do this, you do that because you have a problem because of it. Why don't you do this, to do this, why don't you try that? That is more about telling and advising. But coaches are asking questions. So what's going on? What happened? What did you feel? Why that is happening? Why you were just sitting there? Why did you do that? What do you think you can do right now? What is the changing? What's the changes? Okay, something like that. Why do you think that is the best choice? What will be happen when you do that? Can you implement that? Can you work on it? If you do that, what your partner can think about that? What they're gonna feel? They're gonna help you? Do you think you can do that without their help? There are many things. Okay, so from fixing or solving problems to promoting discovery, awareness, and intentional choice. So from fixing and solving problems, I have a problem. I'm gonna fix you. I'm gonna fix that. No problem. This is the solution. We need shifting from that to coaching. Coaching is more about promoting discovery, awareness, and intentional choice. What did you see? What do you think? What are you looking at? What's going on? Okay. Wow. What the other party was thinking. Okay. So then, what do you want to do for that? Can you do it? I mean, well, in general, people don't choose that, but can you choose it? Do you have a strong will to do it? Well, a friend of mine, he snores during the night, all from the beginning to the end. As soon as he went to bed, he goes to bed, until he wakes up in the morning. He snores a lot. Well, I snore too, but I don't hear my snoring from my wife. So my wife would punch me, and I stop snoring for a moment, but I snore again. So when I got tired, I snore more. Okay. So that's the problem for me, but she is sleeping with me because it's better, than sleeping by herself. That's what she said. Lots of couples are, sleeping in different rooms because I don't know. There are many reasons, but I don't know. But we are sleeping together still. Well, I'm okay because I have no problem because I don't hear my snore. When I snore, I don't hear any, so I have no problem. But my wife used to complain that I grind my teeth. So recently I got the dental guard. So I just put it in, and I don't grind my teeth, but I grind my dental guard. Oh my goodness, that's kind of hard. So maybe I have some joint problem because of the grinding teeth. Well, there can be many solutions for fixing snoring, right? Some people can say, "Oh, you better lose your weight, then you're not gonna snore more." Okay? That can be a solution. If you said so, it's kind of directing and solving problems for the person. But the coaches are what coaches can do. Oh, you snore? Does it bother you? Does it bother your partner? Do you think you feel, kind of tired after you're sleeping 6, 7, 8 hours later? Do you think your snoring can hinder your deep sleeping? Why do you think you are snoring? When did you start snoring? Well, people are saying if you lose, your weight because you are weighted. So people say, or your doctor said, if you lose your weight, you're gonna snore less. Do Do you think that makes sense? Are you willing to lose your weight? How are you gonna lose your weight? What kind of plans you used to have? Why did you fail on your, diet plan last time? What did you try? There's tons of questions you can ask to the person. And then you can ask the person, well, you have two choices. You're gonna eat less or work out more. Well, both will be okay. I'm asking you, you wanna just eat less or work out more? Which is easier for you? Don't choose the harder one. Okay? So choose the easier one for you so you can practice it. You can do it. Okay? Those things are what coaching is doing. So for the coaching, eat less, work out more. You're snoring because you got fat. From that, you want to shift to coaching for helping people. All right, there must be more shifts. Excuse me. From assuming they need your expertise or that you are smarter than they are, to acknowledging that they know a lot and can solve what is it they are facing. So you don't want to assume. By asking all kinds of questions, you can show your client that you are not just assuming, but you are trying to help them. Okay? You don't want to pretend, that's what's happening, because you got fat. You snow because you got fat. What if the person has to eat more than any other people because of the illness, because of the disease, particularly, or something like that? Okay? So assuming is dangerous always. Always. It is no good idea to assume. Okay? You don't want to show off your knowledge and your professionalities. Okay? You don't need to push them to accept your advice or your answer to your questions by showing off. But when they just understand that you are really willing to help them, they can see that. And they can just work with you. Okay, from feeling responsible to solve their problem to leaving the responsibility with the person being helped. So coaches don't take responsibilities. Coaches are taking responsibilities on the coaching relationship, but all decisions have to be made by the helper. The people who need help. Okay, so I'm a coach. You are a coachee. So I can coach you. I can help you, but you have to make decisions. Because you are making decisions, you take your responsibilities. So what is coach's responsibilities? The building good relationships, helping the clients, the better ways, the best ways. Okay? But who's gonna make decisions? Coaches. Who takes the responsibilities? Clients. Alright? So that is quite important. Alright, so what other hacking skills there? Consulting. There are so many consulting companies right now. It was kind of rare, and we didn't actually use any consultants long time ago. Well, we tried, to get some advice, but nowadays lots of companies are paying for it because they understand consulting is important. You manage your life, you manage your home, you manage your company, you manage your shop. But sometimes you don't know what's going on to yourself. You don't understand what's going on in your families. You don't understand what's going on in your companies. Well, I think last month I met a person who owns a franchise. It's not that big franchise, but he has more than 10 shops around here in Orange County. And it was interesting to talk with him, and it was very happy for me to talk with him because I could understand many things and got some hints about the coachings. He usually help people who wants to own their restaurants, and because his restaurant was successful, he owns couple of restaurants. So people wanted to learn from him and work with him. So he helped some people to open their own shops. And a shop owner was enjoying, he enjoyed his shop because his shop, was making big money, It's not that great money, but it's pretty good money. So he was pretty happy with it, but his selling was declining. So he was curious, and so he called the franchise owner, and he visited the shop and then tried to see what's going on and analyze almost everything. And the franchise owner found that the branch owner, even though that branch belonged to the person, the branch owner found that the branch owner tried to save some money from food materials like meat and vegetables or something like that. Okay? So he bought the branch owner bought a little bit cheaper meat, a little bit cheaper vegetables, a little bit cheaper rice. Well, those are just, $1 difference, $10 difference, $5 difference. But overall, he could save lots of money from food materials, which is great for him. But customers notice that the quality is somehow a little bit lower than before, a little bit lower than before, a little bit lower than before, a little bit lower than before. So they just stop coming. That's how he lost lots of customers, especially loyal customers. They used to come 1 or 2 times a week, but they don't come. So that was the reason. Who found the things? Who found how the selling decreased? The franchise owner. So the franchise owner warned the branch owner, and he just changed everything, and he just he just buys the same food materials what the franchise owner buying. So the customers came back right away? No, it took some time. Usually it takes more time to have the customers back than to lose their customers. You can lose your customers right away or in a month, but for getting the customers back, takes 2 or 3 or 5 months. So who lost the money? The branch owner, right? So consulting is very important. It's not limited to the local little restaurants, but it can be applied to all big, huge companies also. Do you think Google doesn't need any consulting because it's the biggest and largest and strongest company ever? They do use consultings on many other things, on financial problem, on the human power, many other things. They use consulting services. So consulting is very important. Perhaps we should first ask, what does a consultant produce? Often the consultant is called in to help an organization to analyze their situation and help them determine a way forward. They ask questions, gather data, but in the end they deliver a report with recommendations. Yes, they ask questions, but they help by telling because they are the experts in the field for which they were hired by the organization. It may be in any one of a million subjects, but they bring that expertise to bear on the organization by telling them what to do. So this is often confused with coaching, as some who do one-on-one consulting tell the person they were working with what to do. But this is not coaching, but consulting. Okay? I want to just read it again so we can understand better. It may be in any one of a million subjects, but they bring that expertise to bear on the organization by telling them what to do. This is often confused with coaching, as some who do one-on-one consulting tell the person they were working with what to do. Okay, consulting is using their specific knowledges and skills like finance. They can, companies can hire some consulting services, consultants for analyzing what's going on in the financial area. So they can find some losing money, or they can find some, something else. So they can have those kind of consultings. Okay. Then they can come, they can see the data and analyze it, and they report it. In the report, the consultants can say, okay, this is what I know, this is what's going on in this company, these are the problems, these are the strengths, the solutions are these. Simple. That's it. So the consultant asked lots of questions. They can ask questions. Why not? For the better understanding, they're gonna ask lots of questions too. The same to the coaches. But the difference is they just write the report, final reports, including all the all the situations the company has and the problems the company is facing too, and the solutions they analyzed. Okay, the coachings are just stay with them and just ask them and find, just encourage them to find and encourage them to do something for them, and just keep going side by side. Alright, what about teaching? A teacher is someone who is often viewed as the one who stands in front of the class and lectures about a subject. Like that's what I do, right? Math, science, history, etc. The caricature of a teacher is someone in front of a classroom or lecture hall who presents what they know. So they are the expert in their particular field, and they help the students by telling them more about the subject at hand. To be sure, good teachers ask rhetorical questions of the class, yet the primary example of a teacher is that of an expert sharing their expertise with the class by telling them about it. Yes, I'm telling you about coaching, and today I'm just telling you there are other skills to help people. So there is consulting, there is teaching, and I'm teaching too. I'm teaching also, right? So teaching is delivering the knowledge what I have to you, right? So you can know, you can understand. So teaching is very simple. Okay, you wanna just stop snoring. You're gonna reduce your snoring. Okay, so then I can explain what's going on. So you are snoring because your nursery systems got some problems, because you are fat, because you have any other disease, because your sleeping positions, because of your bed, because of your pillow, right? Because of your habit, because you are tired, because of your physical conditions. Right? Oh, you wanna just solve that problem, so then you can watch your diet, so you can lose your weight. You're gonna get less chance to snore during the night time. How are you gonna watch your diet? Well, you're gonna eat less. How you can eat less because you are hungry? Well, you're not gonna die if you eat less. So how much you're gonna eat less, right? You can calculate the calorie, You can, count the amount of food, right? Something like that. Okay? Oh, you wanna do exercise? This is great, but it is not a good idea to exercise hard when you are watching your diet, because when you exercise more, you are more vulnerable to hold the food. I mean, you want to eat more when you got tired. So when you do exercise, you are more about to eat more. So that is no good idea to watch your diet. You're gonna fail on watching your diet. I can explain this and that, right? Why? Then it's a teaching. It's teaching. It's not coaching. Alright? What coaches do, I told you already. What about counseling? Counseling. What does the counselor do? They are experts in mental health and assisting people to move forward out of their pathology or hurt. I got hurt. It is in my mind. The memory, the situation, the words, the facial expressions, the mood, and so on. Right? Okay. So, counselors they want to just help people they can overcome mental illness, mental disorders, pathology. Okay, they do that by asking questions to help the counselee to think. The questions help the counselee to explore out loud what might be behind their problem. The counselor hopes that they will be able to help raise awareness in the counselee so they will be more healthy and move forward in life unencumbered by their past hurts and struggles. There may be some advice given, but primarily they help by asking, and they are experts in their field. So the counselors, they want to just understand what's going on in their client's heart and mind, and what made those things. I mean, thinking and feelings, and they just try to explain their clients to understand what happened, why those symptoms are happening, and just help them to understand what's going on and help them to choose good choices, make good choices for overcoming their problems, mental disorders, and illness. Okay, so that they can move forward, which means that they can live better, live right. Okay, and they can have better lives. The difference between counseling and coaching. The difference between counseling and coaching has been described in this way. The counselor helps bring someone from a negative place to a normal place. The coach, on the other hand, brings someone from a normal place to an even more focused, productive, and effective place. Well, it can be half right. The coaches can help from kind of bad conditions. When you just, use your bed or something and life is messed up. Coaches can help people who in, negative situation, right? So the coach, on the other hand, brings someone from a normal place to it can be half right, right? So the coaching presumes a certain level of mental health and ability. Yeah, why some might view working with a coach as rehabilitative or an indication that they are in a negative place. Typically, those who are involved in coaching are those who want to get even better. In the business world, money for coaching is spent on those high potential leaders to help them get even better faster. That's right. But if they want to just find any solutions from the negative and very slow situations, they can call coaches also. So I don't think the coaches is only for normal to better, but also coaches are for the negative from the positive to the positive. It's not limited, only from normal to bad. Okay? So when you read this, you need to be careful because I can get those things from somebody else, as I told you, but we can read and think critically so we can add more, right? Okay. In the business world, money for coaching is spent on those high potential leaders to help them get even better, faster. Sure, some who are lagging or struggling may receive coaching, but this is not the norm. So coaching is distinct from counseling while there may be a number of common elements. Well, they can be left and right, as I told you, right? So counseling can be from normal to better. Counselors can do that. Okay, coaches, they can help people from normal to better. And both people, the counselors and coaches, can, help people who are in negative to positive. From negative to positive, right? But in general, coaching is more from normal to better. But the counselors and consultants, well, if you want to just perform better, you can call consultants, right? Consultants also, right? So there can be some differences, right? Okay. What about the mentoring? What exactly is a mentor, and where did that term mentor come from in the first place? It is a name from Homer's poem, The Odyssey. The fictional king of Ithaca was named Odysseus, who had a friend named Mentor. Odysseus was, so Mentor is the name of a friend of Odyssey, right? Odysseus. As Odysseus was heading off to Troy for the Trojan War, he entrusted his house and the education of his son Telemachus to Mentor. In fact, he said, "Tell him everything you know." In business and industry, the term is used to describe the older, wiser practitioner. I like it. It doesn't guarantee that older people know better. Well, so who takes a younger? I mean, there are many things you can learn from the older. It doesn't guarantee that they can be helpful to you. Okay, who takes a younger protege under his wing. Then, after a time, the relationship of mentor and mentee will shift to one of the advocacy where the mentor advocates for his protege, so he or she will get the promotion. In the church mentoring relationship, this is often compared to the older senior pastor who takes the younger youth pastor or assistant under his wing to help them. Likewise, it is akin to the vicarage or internship supervisor teaching the younger student pastor or intern about the ministry during their internship or in vicarage. The mentor has the wisdom and experience, they are the expert in their field, and they help by telling. They may also ask questions and may tell stories, yet the primary benefit of the mentoring relationship is the wisdom and experience of the older, wiser practitioner being shared with the younger protege. Okay? So that's the mentor. Right? Well, your mentor doesn't need to be older than you always, because we can learn something from the younger. Why not? There are more expertise. If they have more expertise, there's no reason we don't learn from the younger. Okay? But in general, we can learn from the older, wiser, and practitioner. That is why even the Bible tells us that respect the silver hair. I do. Because they lived longer than me. Itself, then I can think, I can have something to learn from them. Pastor, well, yeah. Does the average person in the church see the pastor doing every week? They observe them standing in front of a Bible class teaching the Bible. They see the pastor in front of the church, perhaps leading worship and saying the prayers. Yet primarily many perceive the pastor to be the preacher. They are the ones who go to seminary and Bible college to learn about the Bible, and so they are the ones who stand up and tell the people about God and tell them what they need to consider and to do. Are there exceptions? Sure, pastors often engage in pastoral care and counseling, where they go to the hospital and meet people, like a hospital chaplains. That's what I used to do. I just volunteered for the hospital chaplain because I think that I need that. And meet people in their office and speak with them confidentially about their particular spiritual struggles. They ask questions, they listen, they care, they read the Bible, and they pray and often give advice. Yet in this instance and at their core, the pastor is primarily the expert by virtue of his training, and he helps by telling people that expertise. Pastors can be your quote. I mean, they are happy people, okay? And there are some similarities between pastors and coaches. Advisor, yes. What does an advisor do? By definition, they give advice. Certainly, that means that they help by telling. It may or may not be good advice, but the role of an advice giver is to tell people what they think they should do. In that regard, an advisor is really a combination of many helping skills whose foundation is that they perceive themselves to be an expert in some area of knowledge and choose to help by telling the person about what they think they need to know in their particular situation. Coach. Yeah. I already said about the coach, right? But I want to just take a look really quickly so that I can wrap it up. The coach, by comparison, is not necessarily an expert in a particular field. Well, they are experts. There are many experts in coaching field. To be sure, they may have expertise as pastors, teachers, or other subject or areas of experience. But the skilled coach has an expertise is in his or her coaching. Coaching itself, okay? That's what he's saying. They see the other person or client as having expertise in their situation. After all, the coach will never completely understand and appreciate the nuances of the coach-client's situation. They could tell the coach-client what to do, but will they really own it or act upon it? There may be hesitancy for many reasons. One being that the coach, or in this case the advisor, doesn't quite read the situation correctly, and so the diagnosis and prescriptions are off. But the main goal is ownership and passionately moving forward. Good coaching will help the coach client to understand where they want to go, understand their current reality, explore possibilities, and then choose on their own what they should do. They work through it with their coach, and in the end, they own the idea, the choice in what to do, and also the outcomes afterward. There is no scapegoating, scapegoating to the helper if there is a problem. Well, you just coached me and I have a problem. It's your problem and you are wrong. It's your responsibility. They cannot say that. They cannot do it because coaches help people, clients to think, see, and feel, and make a plan, and make a choices, and move forward by themselves. So you take your responsibilities. The coach didn't tell them what to do. You do this, you do that. They don't do that. The coach was a thinking partner for their exploring and choosing what to do, whether the step was large or small. Okay, so those are what we can think, right? Well, that's all for today. We just took a look, what kind of helping skills beside the coaching. But that was a good comparison, I think, so you can understand more about what the coaching is and what other helping skills are there, so we can borrow and we can have for helping people. All right. So we're gonna just see you next week.